Hi, my name is Karen. I'm a compulsive overeater. I weigh and measure 3 meals a day off the gray sheet and commit them to my sponsor. I don't eat in between no matter what, and abstinence is the most important thing. And, welcome to the newcomers and people counting days. You are the most important people in the rooms, but we're all here, like we're all just one bite away, which is amazing. This is a disease. This is a disease. I am an addict through and through. I was sitting here getting quiet while you were doing all the preliminary stuff, and I was thinking, food was my very first addiction. It was my first, and I really think my last, like, really, like, thing I loved and thought I could never give up. That, like, I got the big book right here where it says, no, never. I was definitely one of those no nevers after I got sober. I did Al Anon, I did therapy, and I ate and I ate. I tried Gray Sheet once for a year and a half and then went off of it, thinking I could do it on my own, thinking, well, I'm going to take the best parts, like the best foods essentially, and I'll just incorporate them. And I just won't do that weighing and measuring and with exception. And well, that lasted all of like 2 days. And then I was out there for 6 years. So, I'm just also sitting here thinking as we started the meeting, I'm so grateful I'm not in the food again. I really didn't like that person. I hated the person I was physically. I hated it. But even emotionally, even inside, I didn't like that person. Um, and it all goes together, it all goes together. So, I don't know what I want to say about like what it was like. Just I could never get enough. Like that's what I said. I'm an addict through and through. I never wanted one sweet. I wanted the whole like the whole box wasn't enough. I'm thinking about this time of year too, Christmas. I was like, oh my God, the parties and looking forward to them, but never being really satisfied afterwards. Again, all the specialty foods. You know what? I don't miss those foods at all. And that's a real miracle. The things I can't have, like civilians out there, they don't get that. Like once you're abstinent and have accumulated some time, like I truly love my food. I pick the best. I make my meals. My lunches are so simple and boring because I'm at work 5 days a week. On the weekends, I have what I love. And all my other meals, I have what I love. It's an abundance too. And when people, like, they think it's deprivation, like the civilians, it's just unbelievable. So it's fulfilling physically, the gray sheet, and it's also fulfilling spiritually and emotionally and even intellectually. I mean, my mind cleared. My mind, like you don't realize you're in a food fog until you're not in it anymore. And anyway, so yeah, so this time of year, and here we come up on another big holiday with food, and you guys are gonna laugh. So I don't care what I'm eating on Christmas or Christmas Eve or whatever. I'll pick like foods I like. I will make those. But I am like right now today, like, Christmas week, I am obsessing on my kids. They're grown-ups, they're grown kids. I just got off the phone with my daughter and I'm like, so tell me, you guys have to tell me. I'm stressing out. What do you want me to make? What foods do you want me to make? I mean, she had this simple thing that's actually very healthy that she loves that I made when she was a child. Like the type of thing when you're sick, you eat it in bed. Anyway, I'm like, that's what you want? Okay. All right. Yeah. But what do you really want? No, I just want that. It's like people don't obsess the way I do. Um, though I should say that daughter, let me not, this is also a family illness. Alcoholism and addiction and mental illness in my family, it's a family disease. And that daughter also did have the surgery, the major surgery down in Colombia, like head to toe surgery because she didn't like her body and she was like 30 years old. That was about a year and a half ago. And my husband kept telling me, you got to tell her, don't do this. And I said, well, I'm not telling her anything. I don't approve of that. But that's where this disease takes us. Like we'll do anything except like weigh and measure our food 3 times a day. Um, so God bless her, but it's an ongoing struggle. Um, what else do I want to say? So I got to Gray Sheet. I went off a Gray Sheet. I came back because, and I've got to tell this story because we're all a family here. We're all connected. And if we don't see the connection, God just puts the people right back in front of us. So I got abstinent the first time in New York in 1990. I had just had my first baby. I always got to say it by the babies because it's funny. Um, I had 2 babies. Or maybe 3, 2, I think. I went to a mom's group for AA up in Connecticut, which is where I grew up. I see these 2 women with their toddlers. And I said, I remember you from New York, from the Gray Sheet rooms. And if I tell you, I went to like 1 or 2 meetings, but I remember this one woman, and you all probably know her and love her. She came in with her little baby and she wasn't all sweaty like me. Like I was just like dripping wet and, I was just like frumpy and like all of like 27 and feeling like I'm like 67 and I'm, holding this baby and she just looked fresh, with her baby. Anyway, I went to these meetings in Connecticut with her and another long-time gray sheeter. And I said, do you still have those meetings in Westport? And she said, yep. And then I just one day said, I think I'm going to come. And I said, I hate to, but I think I have to. And so I showed up, and that was the beginning of the last 25 years. That was 25 years ago. So then I came in with another baby, actually, my son Michael, 25 years ago, 1997. And then I had a Gray Sheet baby, Olivia, who's now going to be 20, or is she 20? I don't, 2003. So that's my trajectory. So I do go by the babies. It's so funny. But yeah, I was out there thinking like, all right, like my life should be so great. Like I've got it all. I've got like this nice family. Why am I like so depressed inside and unhappy? And, and just that yo-yo, like food did more to me than the physical. It just made me not like, I started out saying that it made me not like myself. So, I got abstinence. So what do I do today? I didn't want to lose this abstinence this time. I safeguarded it. Like I made phone calls. I mean, this longtime Westporter, she laughs because I used to call her. If one little thing fell on the floor, I would go looking under the couch for it. And she was like, finally, like, Karen, we don't eat the dirt. We don't eat the dust. Make a phone call, turn it over. Like all this stuff. Like I was so hyper vigilant. Now I'm more relaxed, but I'm never too relaxed. Like I make a phone call. I never make decisions on my own. If that scale moves, I'm like, oh, why didn't I shut it off a half a second earlier? Like now I'm either going to add more or take away or whatever. Like I don't trust my judgment. So I don't want to start walking
5
away.
minutes.
I don't want to start walking away and start like my crazy brain thinking. So I put it on the people who have been there before me, walk the walk. Um, in the beginning, I did a lot of phone calls. Then I had these little ones, so I wasn't going to a lot of meetings. And then I always say, then I moved to Florida. COVID saved my life because COVID got me this Zoom. I was like, first of all, when I saw my Connecticut people on Zoom, I was like, oh my God, hi, oh, like you're there. And that's how I feel when I come into this community. I was actually in Connecticut this summer and I spoke at the Westport meeting. And then I was just there Thanksgiving and I spoke again. And it's just, live meetings are the best though. I mean, it's just, I need to be connected because you guys have my heart. Like we have the same heart. Anyway, fast forward, what else can I say? Today, I wake up, I have quiet time in the morning because as I've gotten older, I realize I need a lot of quiet. I need a lot of like, and it's hard with even for grown adults to live here. Well, one part-time, one's Livia's at college, but Michael lives here. But still with two dogs, I just need quiet time, without dog walking, So I do that in the morning. I journal. I did the how to pray, how to talk to God, thing, the group that we had on here. I don't know what you call it, the class. And that opened up that area. It opened up my spirituality in a different way. But I also believe you don't have to be sitting down to talk to God. I go out in nature. I live on a lake. When I'm walking the dogs, I just take a breath of air and God is there with me, walking with me, higher power. I like to call him higher power. Um, I call him God, but you might not. So what else? What else do I do? I talk to my sponsor who I have had for the longest time, this whole 25 years. And I knew her from before too, the first time. But man, she's like a second mother to me. I mean, and so lately I got a new job. Well, I changed careers. I decided in this crazy time that I would become a teacher at the age of 57. And when it's probably the worst possible time, right before COVID, the kids are crazy. They've been home too long. They came back to school, but I got a really nice job. I got the interview while my son was in the hospital and I'm texting. And so it was like God's hand. I interviewed the next day because I was off because I had this major emergency happening. And I went in and I killed it. I got offered the job almost on the spot at like this wonderful high school. And anyway, that was November 1st. So this is my 4th year teaching. So everything's so new. And I hate being a beginner. That's one of my defects, I think. I really hate being a beginner, but I turn that over to God. And anyway, I was going to tell you something. Now I don't know where I'm going with that, except it's Christmas week. I'm giving exams for the first time ever. I taught middle school too, in a Title I school that was totally different. Now I'm with all these young adults who think they're all that and they're smart and wealthy. And it's so funny. And they want a good grade, even though they don't do the work. And I'm just relaxed. Like my whole life it changes if I let higher power lead me. If I just,
You have 1 minute, Karen. 1 minute
okay,
left.
so I'll wrap it up. Yeah, I weigh and measure without exception. I don't go to, I keep I'll just wrap up with this. If you're new, or even if you're not new, I do what keeps me safe. I don't like restaurants. I could go to one. I don't like restaurants because there are too many variables. I like to eat my food alone usually. I eat, I don't know. I just keep it simple, I guess. I keep it simple because I want to be present with my food. I don't want to throw a meal away. Um, I'll end with this. I'm learning at age 61 how to take care of myself. I know what I was going to tell you. I talked to my sponsor on the way to work now. So for my 10-minute commute, which is wonderful. And she's so spiritual. I feel like she's like a saint, like praying or something. And she'll say something and it's like my marching orders. Like I go, okay. And she'll say, don't eat no matter what. And I get out of the car and walk in and I'm like, wow, I'm blessed. She always tells me since I've been teaching, you know, higher power, let higher power walk in before you. You know, let him lead the way. He's going to give you the words. And that's what I've been doing the last, like I said, 4 years with this new career. So I will end there. Thank you guys so much. What a treat to see all of you. Some I know, some I don't know. Thanks.